So I'm just here basically to provide context and motivation to show that this isn't about micro trends. This isn't about things that consumers and students want today. It's about what's actually going to allow us to nourish our communities for generations.
And so when you say nourish our communities for generations, obviously eating plants and vegetables nourishes our body, but once again, you're on the science side about the environment. So can you share a little bit more insights of how does the choices we make on our plate not only impact our own bio in our body, but how does it play into the bigger realm of our environment and our climate? And I think there's a lot of talks about new numbers like 2050, things are going to change. We're in like the final hour of making, decisions regarding climate change.
That's right. We have about 12 years to avoid some of the worst catastrophic warming. And this is a number, or 11 years now, and this is a number that a lot of people have clung on to, from European activists walking out of schools to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying we need to turn things around by 2030, basically. And I'm here to say that our fossil fuel usage and emissions for doing things like generating electricity and moving us around in cars, these are absolutely essential to address and decarbonize. And they are a necessary but insufficient condition to get us where we need to go. We also need to address emissions from the food system, because if we do everything in our power to scale back fossil fuel emissions, but don't address food emissions, then meat and dairy could comprise half of our global emissions by the year 2030.
When people want to be more environmentally conscious, what are like the actions that they can take, and how, is it about changing a light bulb in the house, or is it really about, trying to have a meatless Monday?
The biggest thing is systemic reform. So not only going to your politicians and saying that you want to address climate change, but doing that in your offices and your workplaces. Making sure the offices turn off the lights at night, making sure, understanding what your company's energy purchasing policies are, going to your school and trying to reduce waste. Really, when it comes to the food system, though, which, I'm more of a, I was brought in today as a specialist, there are primarily and only two major things that you can do to affect greenhouse gases from your food choices. It's not eating organic or local. It's not eating grass-fed and free range. In fact, sometimes those things can increase your carbon footprint.
It's really interesting, because I think if you are consuming meat or dairy, you want to stay away from the antibiotics.
For organic crops and organic beef and dairy, it takes more resources and a longer period of time to fatten them up sufficiently that they produce enough food for us, right? So over that course of time, they're belching out even more methane. They're running off even more nitrogen into rivers. So while it may feel good and there are many reasons to support your local economy, carbon emissions is not one of those reasons. The only way to eat more ethical choices like humane meats and organics sustainably is to eat less meat and dairy.
We hold these all over the country and in Canada as a way to get people together and network and talk about ideas, talk about why this is an important issue and what we can do about it. It's not just the stats, and it's not just the research and kind of some of the uncomfortable stuff to talk about. It's where do we go from here?
I'm joined by Dr. Shivam Joshi, who is an internal medicine specialist at NYU Langone. And so I'm really curious what you're bringing today, talking at the Food Leadership Summit about plant-based nutrition, and how are you embracing plant-based nutrition in internal medicine?
I work in the plant-based lifestyle medicine clinic with Michelle McMacken, and we have this program where we're helping patients eat a plant-based diet to treat and reverse diseases that they may already have. And I also do that in my own patients too. And it's been great because we're getting at the root cause of disease, and instead of keeping people on the treadmill, just medications and procedures, we're helping them regain control of their life and going back to how they once were.
So now it's been a few months that the program's been running, and I think you have over 100 patients.
We have over 100 patients actively in the clinic, and we have a wait list of several hundred more patients that we are slowly getting through, and we're trying to reach everyone. But it's been a great, wonderful experience. This is how healthcare and medicine really should be.
And what type of results are we talking about? Is it just weight loss, or is it really, the decreasing off of medication and starting to see reversal effects of diabetes or cardiovascular issues.
We have many patients who are coming off of their medications. Their medications are slowly being reduced. They're losing weight. Their diabetes is getting better. So it's really rewarding and wonderful to see that.
So back to Meatless Monday, we went to schools and we got this first into the 15 pilot schools. Then this year we expanded it to all schools. We decided not to stop there though. We went and expanded Meatless Monday into all hospitals, so all 11 H&H facilities. We brought plant-based nutrition curriculum to doctors, to CEOs, to chief medical officers of our hospitals, brought them in with Dr. Neil Barnard of the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine and a chef, just like we're about to have here, to actually teach how do we eat this way, how do we cook this way and meet that demand. New York lawmakers look to ban processed meats from public school lunches. I'm very excited to announce that tomorrow actually is the last day that New York City public schools will be serving any processed meats. It is a very, that's the work that I'm working on.
As a dietitian with Aramark here at Fordham University, my job is very complex. I do a lot of different things, everything from helping students with food allergies to health and wellness events, to also driving menu change, such as what we're discussing today at the Forward Food Leadership Summit, is really trying to increase the amount and availability of plant-based options for our students on campus, because there is a growing demand for it. So being an advocate for those students looking to seek that out, whether they're vegan, vegetarian, flexitarian, any sort of dietary label, we're trying to make sure there are options for those students.
So then what are some of the options that are, coming forth on the plate that are new and refreshing?
We ended up increasing our vegan station to be lunch and dinner 7 days a week. So now it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. And our menus are so diverse. We have everything from turmeric tofu scramble in the morning to meat alternatives such as the Beyond Burger and Morningstar products, as well as just a lot of plant-based options that utilize legumes and grains and various types of produce when they're in season to really step up our menus. So you might see things like the Crabulous crab cake, which is one of my favorites. It's a version of a crab cake that's made with hearts of palm and artichoke hearts with the traditional like Old Bay seasoning. And again, you will have athletes coming in thinking, oh, it's a crab cake, this is great. And then you inform them of all the health benefits that come alongside with eating more produce. And they just love it. They love the taste, and we're trying to deliver food that just not only has that health benefits, but just overall tastes great.